going to answer some supporter questions here because there is a lot of controversy surrounding this. Let's have a look at this one. DarkRod99 says, hello DF crew. For the Xbox ROG Ally, my question will be regarding game support. Games will become more and more demanding, and dropping $1,000 in a device where it's going to be possible it won't be able to run upcoming games very well seems like a hard sell. Do you think this device has long legs, or will it be the case that probably in a few weeks a AAA game that devices won't be able to take in with good frame rates? That's an interesting point. You can't really tell at the moment because there's a couple of things here. First of all, we're firmly within a generation now, and this device can actually run those games. Some of them quite comfortably, some of them not so comfortably. Doom: The Dark Ages has just had a handheld mode added to it, for example, to kind of make it work on a Steam Deck and the lower tier Ally. And actually, DarkRod99's question is specifically mentions the ROG Ally, not the Ally X. I'd venture to suggest that device shouldn't have been taken to market because there will be games out there available now. And if they're struggling on the ROG Ally 1, the original ROG Ally, they're going to run a lot worse. I mean, Oliver's literally done a series of videos on games that are too big for Steam Deck. And this is basically the same SoC. Full disclosure, I wasn't sent the base Ally when a lot of outlets were. I do have concerns, but I do think we're moving into an era where PC games have got to ship with a huge amount of scalability. Maybe when we move on to the next generation, which could be in a couple of years, then the top-end device of today could struggle. It's a tricky one. Alex, what do you think about that one?
Scalability and I feel like that lower end device should probably, if not, it's using very old technology and is being brought rather late to the market for that technology base. And unlike the Switch 2, for example, you don't have, bespoke ports targeting that and making all the cuts for you. You're reliant on the developers targeting that device and then making settings that will allow that, and cutting in places that usual options wouldn't allow you to do because it compromises like the game's visual signature look, which is some things like Switch ports used to do all the time, but you don't have that luxury in every PC port. And I feel like bringing a product out now, so many years after the original Steam Deck, it's not going to be one that scales very well. And regarding the situation of the current highest end ROG Ally X, Xbox, oh my God, this name. I feel like
Xbox Ally X or ROG even, which begs the question, the original device could be the OG Ally. An OG Ally X.
Regarding that thing, I feel like at the moment I wouldn't be too worried about the scaling for all games. I think a lot of games are targeting Series S as a base minimum, and I feel like this product allows for a 30 FPS experience at the worst with Series S like quality, and I feel like that is a reasonable expectation for a handheld. And when the next gen consoles roll out, though, and whatever the handheld is that Sony has, that is going to be a very different time and different market. And I'd be very curious to see how this product scales in comparison to that handheld, which will have a very different software stack. And
Absolutely. I mean, all of those features that Mark Cerny was talking about last week, I mean, the balance of probability is that we'll see those in the PlayStation handheld, which we suspect will be based on RDNA 5, which this isn't. It's RDNA 3.5, which is problematic in and of itself. I mean, Microsoft knows that technology is coming because they're making their own consoles and possibly handhelds. Just quickly on the base Ally there. I mean, I did speak to Microsoft about this at Gamescom. My concerns were, look, you've basically got the Steam Deck SoC. Why are you bringing it to market 3 years later? And the response was, well, basically it's a different product with a different performance level for a lower price point. It's like, okay, but I wasn't particularly on board with that particular explanation. Got this question here from Xbox Ally has gone ROG. Rogue. Man. Do you think that Xbox Ally systems are the only Xbox branded systems that can take the advantage of PC Game Pass, which is almost half the price of Ultimate? It makes them, especially the Ally X, a legit good deal as a Game Pass machine. Well, that's an interesting way of looking at things, Oliver, which is to say that PC Game Pass is like a lot cheaper than the console equivalent. And this is essentially will run PC Game Pass. So you will save some money. I guess my question to you is how long will it be saving the money?
Well, yeah, that's the ultimate question. PC Game Pass in US dollars is $16.49 at the moment, I believe, whereas the full fat Game Pass is $29.99. So that is indeed, just over half the price of the full fat Game Pass Ultimate. And you're getting most of what Game Pass Ultimate offers, I would venture, not in terms of quantity of games, but probably in terms of recency and quality, because you're getting all those day one releases, those day one Microsoft releases that are so key to the service. You aren't getting as large of a library of like 2008 Assassin's Creed titles, but perhaps that's not a key part of the library, the appeal of the library, I would venture, for most people. So I do think this will be a good Game Pass machine, and it does seem like the interface is well designed around Game Pass, and it does seem like that's a very good experience in the device. That's really what they put front and center. The question is, how long does that last? I suspect, based on the way they're positioning PC Game Pass, based on the way they're de-emphasizing it within their current offerings, they really put those three tiers, the Essential, the Premium, the Ultimate, those are put front and center in their marketing. To the extent they include anything about PC Game Pass at all, it's buried somewhere in the page. They've increased prices by a good margin, by 40% or so, without offering any service enhancements recently. So it used to be $12, now it's $16.50. That's like a 40%, 30% price increase. That's significant. So I would think that probably PC Game Pass is not long for this world at this price point. I'd venture that in the next 2 years, we're probably not going to see PC Game Pass either exist anymore, or it's going to be a largely redundant service with an increase in price to much more closely match Game Pass Ultimate. That's my suspicion, at least at the moment.
I also think that jives with the branding. If they're going to continue and just start calling an Xbox, even though it's not an Xbox, like they're gonna try and flatten the brand to not be Xbox PC on the side as a separate Game Pass tier.
Yeah.
I think that is a reasonable assumption. Wow, that's also, I don't know. I also feel like if you're playing on a PC device, this is not an Xbox at the moment, in my humble opinion. Like if you're playing on this thing, one of the benefits of PC is grabbing an extended, I don't know how to say it, like an extended library over time to revisit in the future. And that is not a guarantee with a games as a service platform, just giving you the latest and greatest and maybe taking things out over time. I feel like grabbing multiple titles that you revisit in the future on like future hardware is an amazing part of the PC experience. And you'd be missing out on that actually to a degree if you just only really cared about Game Pass releases. But then again, maybe you're an entirely different person than I am. And that doesn't bother you at all. So that's just my opinion.
It's also so tricky on PC because you've got massive sales in older titles. Like legacy titles on Xbox typically are charging high prices. If you go back to like an Assassin's Creed title from 2016, 2017, that's probably still going to be like $40, $30. On PC, that'll regularly be on sale for like less than $5. And then also, the other thing about Game Pass is that, and this is a general problem, but I think it's more of a problem on PC, is that when you commit to Game Pass, you're basically committing that your library of games will only exist insofar as you pay for Game Pass. And like that might seem fine if Game Pass is $20 a month. When they increase it to $30 or $40 a month, all of a sudden you could lose all your library of titles, right? All at once. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you've been building that up over time with these sales, that looks more favorable. So I don't think Microsoft will have as much luck with PC Game Pass with pushing that out as an offering, at least insofar as they increase the price to match their offerings across PC and console, which now include both systems, no matter what option you pick between Premium, Essential, or Ultimate. I think they're going to have a little bit of a tougher time with that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've not seen any of the other Z2 Extreme offerings out there. I think it's worth pointing out that Microsoft does seem to have a Z2 Extreme with the MPU, which means that Auto SR is a thing, which may not be on other devices. which is a nice little bonus exclusive to have because the original Auto SR was pretty good. And this new one, I'm expecting it to be better. So I'm looking forward to that. But just sort of my initial thoughts after a day or two with the Ally X at the moment, it's pretty straightforward. It's the best handheld out there that I've played. I've not seen the other Z2 Extreme handhelds though. It's really, really, really nice as a PC handheld. The Xbox stuff doesn't really seem to be there yet, though. There's a lot going on there. There's some amazing features in Xbox that, if they came to PC would be awesome, like Quick Resume, for example.
Oh, gosh.
It seems to be the case that we're really early on in this transition period from Xbox being solely a console into like this hybrid PC Windows-based thing that we think is the direction it's heading in. The question is whether they should be putting out a public-facing device right now to kind of do the beta testing, whether that's a good thing or whether it's going to be detrimental to the Xbox brand. Because, you're right, Alex, that Verge headline was kind of damning, which is like, well, if the future is a hybrid PC and it looks like this, then that's not great. And to be frank, it's not great at the moment. All I can say, though, is that when you play games on it, which is, core to the whole thing, really, it's very, very good, I think, based on what I've seen so far. More coming soon in the review. We've also had a lot of requests, and also from Intel, actually, to include Lunar Lake, the Lunar Lake handhelds in the discussion. And Intel has been kind enough to furnish me with one. So, I'm looking forward to testing that out. Lots going on there. I've also got the GPD Win 5, which is an entirely different class of product. But I'm really super excited to check that one out too.